Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine this Saturday morning, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for being up so early. If you're from Europe, it is very early in the morning. But guys, it is about 10 o'clock here. So, I'm up, I'm ready and going. I've been up a few hours, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Please, before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video. If you guys could do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Now, look, let's get into it. Of course, rumors were circulating yesterday about the bid for Brian Mbeumo has been rejected. Now, look, let me get into this really, really quickly, guys, because you know what? There's a lot of disgruntlement out there and a lot of anger, and I understand that. I absolutely agree with it. I think that the reason that this deal is taking so long is because Manchester United obviously wanted to work out a payment plan. Man United don't want to pay the full amount. The fee has been agreed. The amount overall has been agreed, but Man United are organising a payment plan. Obviously, that includes incentives and stuff like that. So it is a very, very complicated deal. Man United cannot afford to pay up front 63 million. Plus, Man United wanted to put, like, for example, the way they've done the Cunha deal. The Cunha deal was a release clause, of course, but Man United organised a payment plan for the Cunha deal. It's the same thing with Mbeumo. Now, this is the type of deals that we're going to be doing in the future, and unfortunately, these type of deals do take time. And I don't think Man United have the time to waste. I really don't. I think this is getting a bit on track. This is getting on how do you say it? Getting a bit hostile in regards to what Manchester United need, because Man United need a lot of work done this summer. They don't just need Mbeumo. They need a striker. They need a right wing back, a midfielder, a goalkeeper. There's a lot of work that needs to be done at this football club, not least the players that need to leave the football club. So with Brentford digging their heels in, you can't blame Brentford for digging their heels in because they want the money up front. Brentford want to replace Mbeumo. And what Man United are doing is that they're trying to work out a deal that's going to suit them rather than what's going to suit both parties. And, it is going to be completed. I believe it will. It will be by the 1st of July. We rarely get deals done in June anyway. It will be by the 1st of July, probably around that time. I wouldn't say exactly on the 1st of July it's going to be done, but I'm pretty sure we get some positive noises and movements from the transfer by the 1st of July. Now, the buzzword was rejected. The buzzword was rejected. It's not so much rejected. It was more on the lines of talks ongoing. They continue. They just continue straightening out, ironing out a few details and stuff like that. So that is what I believe has been going on. So look, it is frustrating. As I said, it's annoying. It's because you're looking at Liverpool, you're looking at City, and you're looking at and you're thinking like, you know what? Look at them getting all their deals done so early. Look at them, they're doing well. They're smashing it in the transfer. I know. Unfortunately, not in the Champions League, 100 million through the door has not helped either. Liverpool didn't spend any money last season, which is why they got a big bundle of money to spend on players that they want. But there's no excuses when it comes to Man United. Man United came 15th last season, as we've heard so many times. So what we need to do as a football club, we need to improve. And by improving, we need to get rid of players and bring in lots of players, not just one player. We need to completely change the squad because the mentality of the squad is not good enough. Now, look, in a nutshell, in Mbeumo, the tensions are beginning to feel in regards to Mbeumo. Mbeumo is not happy with what's going on. He wants this resolved as quickly as possible. But Mbeumo is the type of player who wants to know what his future is going to be. One thing I would say, guys, and you know what, Mbeumo will be a Man United player. I've always said that. And basically, when a player goes out of his way to say that he wants to leave the football club, he wants to go to Manchester United, it's very rare that the player doesn't get what he wants. I would say that when a player wants to leave, he will get what he wants regardless, because it doesn't make business sense, long-term, short-term, off the pitch, in regards to keeping the player. It doesn't make any sense, because when you got a disgruntled player, it doesn't help the team. It doesn't help the cause in regards to Brentford, unless the player said, look, I'm going to give my all for Brentford. And there you go. I'm not, it doesn't matter if the deal didn't go through. I'm going to do my all for Brentford. Once a player adamantly wants to leave, just like Anthony, it's very hard to keep these players. At the end of the day, eventually their hand must show and they have to sell the player. I know it takes a long time, and Brentford, I don't know why. we always get these situations. Part of me feels like these players, like these teams, are only doing this to Manchester United. It's like, this doesn't happen with any other team. It's almost like these teams love to make it life hard for Man United, as if it isn't hard enough already. But once a player wants to lead the football club, let me tell you this, the deal is going to be done. It will be done. And as I said, but obviously, Man United with their installment plan is going to take time, of course, guys, which is obviously always going to be the problem when you got an ownership like Ineos and Glazers, haven't you? We haven't got big stacks of money just to throw in players. In reality, this is exactly what we've been saying before Ineos came into the football club. Exactly what we're saying. Man United don't need penny pinchers. Man United need people who just throw money at things. We need that. Okay, bring him in. Get him in. It would have been already done by now. Trust me. It would have been already done by now. But we have what we have, and we have to deal with what we got. Let's read some of your comments, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. Big up Tyberg. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Talks are ongoing, but it feels like an eternity. The level of incompetence at our club is shocking. We should have at least 3 or 4 ins and outgoings by now if we are a properly run club. One thing I would say, Tyberg, is that through history of Man United, we've never really got deals done in June. Even though we should, we've never really done it. And I think we've signed 2 players in June in our history. I think one was Jason Park. The other one was Cunha. That's what I'm hearing. I could be wrong, but Man United rarely do their deals. But I also understand it from the flip side is that Man United are in a unique position. And because we came 15th last year, we need work that needs to be done, and a lot of work. We probably got more work to do than every other football club out there, which is why Man United need to work quickly. We're not working quickly. I wouldn't mind if Man United were out there doing the Mbeumo deal, but also getting other deals over the line. Do you know what I mean? And make sure that we're getting the striker in, we're getting the goalkeeper in, we're doing this and doing that. But unfortunately, this is the nature of the beast. We've got Ineos, who I don't think are good enough to run a football club. I don't. As I know a lot of people disagree, but that's my personal opinion. They have to prove to me that they are. This summer is their biggest test for me because this is their guy. This is Ruben Amorim. So this is their guy. This is their biggest test for me. And to be honest with you, I'm going to give them a chance. I'll see how it goes. And if by July we still haven't got our players in, then you know what? It is annoying because I did say that if Ruben Amorim doesn't get back, Ruben Amorim should walk because at the end of the day, they're throwing him into the sharks. At the end of the day, and what happened last season is just going to happen next season with the same players. Man United need a new squad. Absolutely. Big up, Kenny. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Morning, everyone. It seems that like all the top Premier League clubs have got their players they are more or less ready for the new season. Sloppy seconds for us, it seems. Not really. Arsenal signed 1 player. Liverpool have signed a few. That's the benchmark in it that everyone's looking at. Liverpool have signed 4. I think Frimpong, Kirkes, Florian Wirtz. I believe they signed as well. So Liverpool are already champions. So that's the thing. Not everyone has got their deals done up. So Arsenal got 1 player in. Arsenal haven't got a striker in yet. They need a striker. They're bringing their thing forward. But the problem is, the difference is that Arsenal and Liverpool are in a better position than we are. They're in a position that, they're already advanced in regards to their football team. We have from top to bottom a toxic mess. Our football team and our football club. This is why we need things done quickly. I'm not going to accept mediocrity. I'm not going to accept mediocrity this season, this summer. I've said it already. I do not accept Man United going into next season with a couple of new signings, that are not going to make a major impact. Yes, Cunha will make an impact and Mbeumo will make an impact, but we also need a striker. We also need a defender. We also need a midfielder. We also need a right winger. We need a goalkeeper. What is going on here? We can't just accept it. We can't just let them off the hook. I know there's a lot of people who supported Ineos from the beginning and they're always going to be on the side of Ineos and making excuses for Ineos. I've said it. By the end of June, by 1st of July, if I'm not hearing positive noises, I'm going to raise the ante on these guys. Right? I'm going to raise the noise on these guys because at the end of the day, Man United, what we need a rebuild. A rebuild means a rebuild. Not just 1 or 2 players here and there, here and there. A proper bloody rebuild. You got Chelsea who spent $1 billion in under a year. You got Liverpool. No, you got Liverpool who spent, how much they spent this summer? 200 million, 250 million so far. You've got Man City who spent 400 million since January. So at the end of the day, we need to look at this and say, look, you know what? This is the benchmark. Let's forget about what's been on the past. We need things done. But unfortunately, Man United go into deals and say, oh, we can't afford the 63 million. So what we're going to do, can we pay you 20 million every year? Can we pay you 15 million every year? That sort of thing. And obviously, Brentford are going to say, no, we want the money now. We need to replace Mbeumo. If you're going to buy Mbeumo, we need the money now so that we can replace him, because we can't go into to the window and say, right, 20 million here, 20 million there, because we need the money now. Absolutely. Big up, Darren. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. United sucked the life out of New Sign. Absolutely, Darren. This is exactly what I mean. I mean, look, you know what? The excitement and everything, the enthusiasm that are in these transfers, they just go. They just disappear after a few weeks because, we wait and wait and wait. We're getting excited. We're getting down. We're getting excited. We're getting down. Eventually, you just get fed up with the deals that with Man United. You just get fed up with the transfers. And this always happens every single year. Nothing has changed for me. Nothing. So far this season, I don't see anything different from Murtaugh or Woodward. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, as we've always said, we are run by the Glazers. We are run by the Glazers, not Ineos. We're run by the Glazers. Joe Glazer still has a foothold in what was done. Now, what I said before, for example, Man United will go to Brentford and they'll say, Brentford, we're going to offer 63 million plus incentives. Brentford say, great. But Man United say, oh, but we want to give you installments. Okay, right. Brentford say, all right, you want to give installments, but we want 50 million up front. We want 40 million up front now, and the rest of it done later down the line. And then Man United go, oh, let me see what I can do. They ring Joe Glazer. Joe, Brentford said they want 40 million up front. Joe goes, that's a lot, really. That's a lot. Hold on. Hold the line. Avram Glazer. Man United, Brentford want 40 million up front. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to get back to you. Just let me get back to you. Let me get back to you. It's like that. Ring up, obviously, Barada again. Joel Glazer. Oh, you know what? He's gonna get back to us. Okay. We go to Brentford. Barada. Brentford. Just let you know that they're gonna get back to us. And then days go past as Avram Glazer is pondering what to do. And then obviously we get the phone call. We go from there, all the way back from there. And that is the problem at Man United. We're not just straightforward. That's what we want. And that's it. It's the Glazers. And the Glazers have notoriously over the years taken their time. And obviously now, to be honest, guys, with Ineos, it's not faster. This is not a faster process. This is a slower process because there's too many chefs in the kitchen. There's too many people doing things that, for one deal and communication between the whole lot is absolutely a mess at the moment, in my opinion, And this is my theory on why things are going so slow. Cornish, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. From what I've heard, I've just downloaded the add-ons, whether they are too difficult to achieve, but it will happen, guys. It will happen, Cornish, mate. But what Man United, I know what we have to understand is that Man United need a lot of work to do. It doesn't look like we're going to get all the deals done by the time the preseason starts. That's absolutely a myth. I don't even think we'll get the striker in, to be honest with you. I think we're probably getting Mbeumo. But the rest of it we won't do, which is unfortunate because I wanted Ruben Amorim to work on, in particular, the forward three, because that is what's ultimately going to decide games next season. And that's a shame. I think that our transfer dealings will drag on into August. I think they will. I honestly believe they will drag into August, unfortunately. And if that happens, that happens. That is just life, isn't it? But as long as we get the deals done, and we got a team next season that I feel that can compete, then you know what, we'll be all right. I'll be all right with that. Do you know what I mean? Because then Ruben Amorim will have a fighting chance, at least, on getting his team together and getting further up the league, of course. Yale, to be fair, United do not really do drills after July the 1st. We've got Cunha in the club already, but been saying it for a bit. Mbeumo will join United. I mean, everyone's been saying it, Charlie, not just you, mate. Everyone knows that Man United's financial year fiscal is the 1st of July. It's going to happen that anyway. That's not to say there can't be a here we go. That's not to say there can't be an Ornstein bomber. there can still be that, because when Ornstein or Fabrizio announce it, it doesn't mean it's done officially. Players were always gonna walk in on the 1st of July, Yale. Listen, mate. They were always going to walk in on the 1st of July, just like Diego Leon's going to work on the 1st of July. That is common knowledge, mate. We all know that they're going to be in the football club on the 1st of July, which is before the pre-season. This is what it is. But deals can still be done verbally. Deals can still be done, mate. You know what I mean? So moral high ground and all that is not what we're here for. It is all about 1st of July. It was always going to be when the players walk into the football club. That doesn't mean there can't be an Ornstein bomber or a here we go in regards to the deal being done. That's what I would say about that. Bill, as Sal said the other day, I wouldn't blame Amram for walking. Amram took too much flat last year and competence of Ineos. I bet he's livid. At the moment, I'm probably sure he's livid. I'm probably thinking that he's probably waiting until obviously the start of pre-season to see where he is. And if he's got some of the players in that he could work with, then obviously he will be okay with that. But I'm pretty certain that he's not happy right now. Of course, he's probably feeling how we're feeling at the moment. He's probably feeling like, but we should know, because we know through experience what Man United are like in regards to the deals these days, you know. But for him, this is a new thing for him. This is a completely new situation for Ruben Amram, you know. Good morning, Natty. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Messing the deal, pay the money. Absolutely. Darren, we can't afford to hang around with players coming in or out. We can't afford to hang around. Absolutely not. And this is why the biggest concern for me is that Man United are doing one deal at a time. This is the biggest concern for me. If I was going to look at everything, I don't mind, like, Mbeumo comes in on the 1st of July. Okay, that's done. As long as it's, you know, being done there, and then we need to move on to a next deal as well. Man United should be working on other deals as well. Now, that is when I spoke yesterday about communication. What's going on? Are Man United doing other deals as well? Are we working on something else? Because it is quite concerning about our football club, where we're going, because we came 15th last year. And we need to know what's going on. What's going to happen? How are we going to improve this situation? What are you doing to achieve the goal of improving our season next season? You know, significantly, not just improve. I mean, significantly improve, moving up the table, getting into Europe, maybe getting into the Champions League. That's what we're looking for. So what are you doing to change our fortunes? And that's what we need to know, because I don't want Mbeumo coming through, you know what I mean? And Mbeumo being done there, and we're not doing anything over there. We just go all our eggs in this basket, working on that one, whilst we're neglected the striker, neglected the goalkeeper, neglected the right wing back, neglected the midfield. I don't want us to do that at the end of the day. So Man United should stop wasting time. We all know this deal is going to be done. So they should stop wasting this time. And you know what I would say is just move on to another one whilst that is going on and stuff like that. Absolutely. Football Red Devil, what's going on, my friend? Are you doing well? It's dragging on because the media attention. It seems like every Man United signer. Let's just hope it will get done. Yeah, let's hope so. Red Devils, if we waste time doing this in Bremer deal, I cannot fathom how the fan base will react if this deal doesn't go through. I will be absolutely. I will be really annoyed. Put it that way. I will be really annoyed if this deal doesn't go through. You know what I mean? The deal, you know, it would be a waste of time. You know what I mean? It'll be a waste of time. And this is something that Man United cannot do. Man United cannot this season waste time. That is one of the most important things. This summer, no, we cannot waste time. We have to get these things done. I understand that old little chestnut, what Jim Ratcliffe said, that, oh, we're going to be walking to the right decision rather than sprinting to the wrong decision. Now, at the moment, we're literally crawling to the right decision. It's not literally walking. We're crawling on hands and knees to the right decision. Now, that is where the problem going. It is a little bit too slow. But obviously, if the deal is done by the 1st of July, I'm happy with that. We need some positive news, though, because at the end of the day, what's going on right now is that, you know, there's negatives. And there's like, are we actually going to get this deal done? And then the toxicity grows, doesn't it? It's not a good feeling. It's not a good vibe to have around the football club. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Hidden Element, how you doing? Greedy Brentford. I wouldn't say that Element. I would say that Man United are trying to do an installment plan. You have to understand it from Brentford's point of view. Brentford want the money. They want the money up front. Man United don't want to give the money up front. Man United want to give installments. Let's say, for example, right, you drive to work every day, right? And but you're selling your car. Right, so someone comes to you and says, "I'm going to buy your car. The car's worth 5,000. You get 5,000. Right, you got 5,000 for your car." But the guy who comes in to buy the car says, "Oh, 5,000. Can I give you £1,000 every month?" You go, "Yeah, but I need the 5,000 now to buy a car." You know, I need to buy another car because I want to buy that car over there. So I need the money now. You know, oh, I can only afford £1,000 a month. You know, and then you're going to be like, no, I want the money now so I can do that. It's exactly what's happening with Brentford. Because Brentford might say, I want a big chunk of the money now so I can buy another player now because the season is starting very soon and we need a replacement for Mbeumo. So we need the money now. That's the sort of situation that happens. Cornish. If this was any other team than United, Brentford would have accepted already. Probably Cornish, probably. I don't know what the situation is in regards to other teams. I don't know whether people just fold when it's Man City or Liverpool. It just seems pretty strange that Liverpool get their deals done so quickly. Man City, you rarely see Man City and Liverpool controversy in regards to their transfers. They're done smoothly. 150 odd million euros for Florian Wirtz, for example, went through pretty smoothly without a hitch, didn't it? At the end of the day, why does this only happen with Man United? I wonder. Is it the way we're approaching the deal? Is it because we're penny pinchers? The problem is that Man United enter deals like a boss, but then end up, no, we can't really afford that. Please, sir, can I have some more, sir, sort of thing. What we need to do, we need to go in there and say, like, what Brentford want? What do you want, Brentford? What do you want, Brentford? And then Brentford would tell you, this is what we want for Mbeumo. Okay, we'll give you this, right? And then, you know what? But then the thing is, right, the problem is Man United are giving Brentford what they want, but Man United don't want to pay it full up. So the fee has been agreed. Man United don't want to pay the deal at full up. I mean, this is the problem. As I said earlier, 20 million per year, it could be 30 million per year, something like that. And you know what? They're like, Brentford are like, nah, we're not on for that. We only signed Cunha because Wolverhampton Wanderers allowed the installment plan. Generally, when it's a release clause, you don't really get an installment plan. You say you have to pay the money and that's it. But Wolves are actually quite good in regards to, like, they let us have Cunha with an installment plan of about 20 million per year. This is what we're trying to do, and Brentford have every right to dig their heels in and say, no, we want the money up front now. We don't want to be messing about. We got players to get. We got to concentrate on our own team and stuff like that. Absolutely. Oxen, good morning. How you doing? I'm doing well. So, do you see Mbeumo deal happening? Yes, I do, Oxen. Look, had that being said, guys, everything being said, I do believe once a player openly states that he wants to move from the football club, once he says he wants to leave. So basically what I would say is this, right? Basically what I would say is this, is once a player, when a player makes it clear he wants to leave a football club, it's rare that the club is able to hold on for them for too long, Keeping an unhappy player is not a smart long-term strategy, what I would say, and on and off the pitch. That's why I think this deal will be done quickly. And not quickly, it will be done eventually. They would have to sell him because at the end of the day, if you're having a player that wants to leave, and you're keeping him against his wishes and stuff like that, it's just going to be a toxic environment at that football club. And I don't think Man United, I don't think Brentford could afford to have that. And Brentford are not a rich football club. We have to remember this as well. This is a lot of money for Brentford. So imagine this, right? Imagine if Man United said right now, okay, Brentford, we're going to be walking the right way. We're going to walk away from this deal. And Mbeumo's going to be like, I'm going to sue. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Just like Anthony did. Do you remember when Anthony went on the sue? And then he's going to say, I'm going to sue you. No, I want to move to Man United. Then Brentford will call Man United and say, look, you know what? Let's get this deal done because we can't keep Mbeumo. And then obviously Man United go, okay, then no, that deal doesn't exist anymore. We're going to be like, and it just drags on. Do you know what I mean? And that's when it's going to happen. But I believe eventually it will happen. The biggest concern for me is that Man United need to be working on other deals as well. We need to be getting other deals through the door because you know what? We've got a lot of work to do, guys. As I said, even if they're getting Rashford and Sancho and Anthony, and Garnacho out the door, get it done. Stop messing around. Chadinga, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good morning, bro. Much love from Uganda. Big up, brother. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome, Ugandan family, of course, guys. Absolutely. Hidden element. I think there should be a rule for clubs for price hiking a player a lot more than their book market value. Look, at the end of the day, yeah. Look, the problem is that it's their asset. They own him. This is theirs. That is their property. They have every right to price something like, so a little bit like putting something on eBay and overpricing it. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to get any buyers, you know? But the thing is, they eventually will lose Brentford, because Brentford will lose out, because Mbeumo wants to lead the football club. So once a player wants to lead the football club, there's no way you're going to be keeping them against their wishes. So eventually you're going to lose anyway. So if you overprice a player out, the player's going to say, you've overpriced me. I think that my valuation is unrealistic. They're going to leave. They're going to leave anyway, because, you know, they're going to go on strike. They're going to not play. They're going to refuse to play. They're going to underperform. And it just doesn't bode well. The thing is, Brentford at the moment, there's been a lot of change at Brentford. Of course, there's Keith Andrews, who's the new manager there. There's been a lot of change at Brentford, and Brentford are going to be in trouble next season. I really feel that Brentford could be relegated next season, the way they're going at the moment with the players that are leaving the football club, etc. So, you know, what I would say is that, you know, they can hold on to a player as much as they want, but at the end of the day, you've got greasy hands. And when the player wants to leave, you've got greasy hands. You're not going to hold on for that much longer. It's going to slip through your hands, and you're going to lose at the end of the day. And what I would say is that Man United are not making it easy. Man United don't make any friends in the market. Man United are very, very, how would I say it? You know, very corporate and very financially astute when it comes to transfers, and they just want to pay things in their own way. And we're not like Liverpool, we'll just say, here you go, here's the money, boof, there you go. You know, Man United are going to be doing these installment plans, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare summer, I can imagine. Edgar, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Didn't they reject the bid? No. Look, that rejection thing was a big thing going on around the media. The rejection thing's a little bit exaggerated. The rejection thing, basically, it is talks would continue. It weren't like, oh, we reject that bid, go away. It was like, we continue our talks, right? Like, let's continue this. So basically, I give you an offer. You say, okay, well, you know what? I don't like this and this. You know what I mean? So what we got to do, let's continue. Let's talk. You know what I mean? Let's talk and let's see what we can do to organize this, arrange that. It's not so much I reject you and the bid is rejected. He's not going anywhere. You pay that money. And that it's a bit like, okay, right, we're getting somewhere. Let's go and talk it out, and let's straighten out the nine out the deals. That's how I believe I think that is what's going on at the moment. Good morning, Steve. What's going on, my friend? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Feels like there's only one person dealing with the incoming and outgoings at United, or is it a team? Or does it feel slow to me? Steve, look, absolutely. This is my biggest concern, Steve. My biggest concern is that we got Barada, we got Vivel, we got Brailsford, and we got all these guys who came into the football club, a bunch of guys. But it seems like, how many does it take to change a light bulb? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And it just feels like it's just slow. You know, you're meant to have a team of people, Jason Wilcox, all these people working on deals. Why is it taking so slow for us to work on one deal? At the end of the day, it takes one-on-one to say, Brentford want this, we're going to give you this, one-on-one. Why can't those other guys over there be working on other deals? You know what I mean? Because we got a lot of work to do at the end of the day. I want the rest of them to be working on other deals. You know, of course, we've got until the 1st of July, the fiscal year. The 1st of July is when the new financial reports come out, and Man United have a clean slate, so to speak, on the 1st of July. At the moment, we're talking about the budget that we had from last year. So the budget this year, the budget for next year is going to be on the 1st of July. So Man United will be spending money on their budget this year. So Man United won't get the deal done this month. They can get an agreement, but the deal won't be officially signed and sealed and delivered until the 1st of July. Anyway, this is why Diego Leon's coming into the football club on the 1st of July, because it's done, but it's not signed. You know what I mean? That could still fall off, but basically it will be done. It's a bit like what happened with Obi Mikel. You know, the deal's done, but not done. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you can still change your mind because it's not officially done. So at the end of the day, look, 1st of July will be the time. We all know that. I mean, it is pretty evident. It's pretty obvious now. It's pretty clear that Man United will get deals done by the 1st of July, but and onwards, guys. So basically what they're doing now in June. When I was growing up, Man United rarely did build deals in June. I never seen Man United doing deals in June. It never used to happen. July used to thing, and August. It used to be July and August. But as I said, United's situation right now is very unique. Big up. Edgar, Hidden element that doesn't make big up everyone. Big up Edgar. Brentford are probably still upsetting us getting Ericsson now. I don't think so. I don't think they missed Ericsson too much last season. If I'm being totally honest, I mean Brentford did all right without Ericsson, didn't they? Ericsson was playing on their right of the midfield, wasn't he? And when Mbeumo came in, then obviously it worked out well for them. Let's not forget they purchased Mbeumo for about 5 million, didn't they? 5-6 million. So they should be extremely happy that they're going to be getting this amount of money from him in such a short space of time. A big profit for them. Great for Brentford, isn't it? That, they're going to make such a profit. But at the same time, look, we have to understand that these football clubs have their own, they're their own entity. They're their own business. At the end of the day, they're going to look after their own interest, just like Man United are going to look after our own interest. Unfortunately, we get on our moral high ground sometimes that we should have this. You know what I mean? But what I would say is that every single time we go into deals these days, we're falling out. It's not like a smooth deal. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Deal done. Thank you. It's not like this. It's like a very reluctant deal that, has a lot of sinister, and angry feelings towards it. Do you know what I mean? And I don't like that about the deals that we do these days, Very, very unprofessional, very, very disrespectful, in my opinion, the way we go into deals, and very, very slow, most importantly. And I'm sure Brentford want to get on with their business. Man United want to get on with their business. Let's just get this deal done, for goodness sake, because we're going to end up paying the money anyway. Whatever happens, we're going to end up paying the money anyway. We come too far in this deal to be turning away now, because that would mean that we wasted a month on this deal. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Dembo, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I said yesterday I have faith. It's United. He'll be signed before the turn up for the preseason. I agree. Big up, fan. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. They aren't upset about Ericsson. I don't think they are, but I think Ericsson is all right. He's left now anyway. He's a long time ago. We are not good in negotiating. If Liverpool want him, they'll get him cheap. Yeah, no, look, we're not good at negotiating because we don't do things that appeal to both clubs. I thought we would be. Liverpool probably have more money. Liverpool probably give them more money initially, which they'll probably like. Man United can't do that. You know what I mean? We can't give big chunk of money. For example, Liverpool will go in and say, okay, we're going to give you 30 million now, and we're going to give you 30 million next year, right? And then Brentford go, okay, give us 40 million now, and you give us another 20 million next year. That's what we do. We do this. We say, we're going to give you 10 million now, and 10 million next season, and 10 million the other season. And that is what we do. That's the difference there. Do you know what I mean? And why can Liverpool do this? Why can Man City do this? It's because they run properly by proper people who don't penny pinch. We've got pennypinch.com in charge of our football club. Let's not forget, guys, Ineos are just a voice. Ineos do not own this football club. The Glazers own this football club. It is the Glazers who ultimately decide if Man United are going to spend this money. Ineos are not going to spend their own money. As much as Jim Ratcliffe has got his own money, he's not going to spend his own money on Man United. It is the club's money. It's the club's money at the end of the day. So look, what's going to happen is that it's going to ring up the Glazers and say, you know what, this 40 million, can we spend this on this player? They're going to say, no, we can't. It's too much. Try and get an installment plan. Try and get 20 million a year and things like that. You know what I mean? Look, Man United, it's one of the worst run football clubs. I'm telling you, we're definitely the worst run big club in the world. We're the biggest club in the world, run one of the worst in the world, in my opinion. And the way we are, this is why we've said it from the beginning. We needed a full sale. This is why we needed a full sale. Here, this little situation right here, this little situation that we envisioned, many of us, over the last year, this is exactly why. This is exactly why, because situations like this, situations like this, and I don't care who it was, whether it was Qatar, whether it was Apple, whether it was Amazon, whoever it was, whether it was Walker's packet of crisps, I don't care. As long as the club was bought fully, and a debt cleared, and our transfer funds and our transfers owed over the last years have been paid off, that would have been good. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we'd be in a much more flexible position, of course. Lots of truth in your comment. Big up, big up. Good morning. Just tuned. Any news on Outgoings? And nothing at the moment. But you know what? One thing I would say is that Jose Mourinho, just like I predicted yesterday, Jose Mourinho is moving away from the Stade and Santo situation, and I'll tell you why. Jose Mourinho, look, Fenerbahce are not stupid. They're not going to pay £300,000 a week for Jadon Sancho. £300,000 a week for Jadon Sancho. Come on, guys. It's ridiculous. They're not going to pay that much. Fenerbahce, throughout their history, have never paid this amount of money for a player a week. They can afford the transfer fee. Don't get me wrong. They can afford the transfer fee. They can't afford the money. So this is why Jose Mourinho reportedly has moved away from the Jadon Sancho transfer. Now, this is going to be an issue, isn't it? This is going to be an issue. This is going to be a problem because it looks like we don't want coming into preseason with Sancho, with Rashford coming in like nothing's happened. Do you know what I mean? We don't want that this season. We want these players gone. You know what I mean? And this is exactly what I envisioned. Exactly what I envisioned. Ineos, the Glazers, they cannot do it. They cannot do it. They needed a full sell. So if Qatar was in the football club right now, this is what they'll do, guys. If Qatar was in the football club right now, they'll say, okay, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford. Well, how much is their wage? Okay, pay him off, getting rid of him. They would do that. We don't want you at the football club anymore. Here's your money. Go away. Get out of here. We don't want you anymore. Move on. That's what they would do. Do you know what I mean? But with us, it's like, oh, we can't afford to pay Luke Shaw 200 grand a week for the next 2 years. We can't afford to play Sancho 300 grand a week for a year. We can't do that. How can we do this? And this is the problem. Exactly the problem. This is why Ineos were not wanted by the majority of us. It's precisely this. Now, they can turn this around. They can. They can work this window out. They can make it happen. They can make it happen. But one thing I would say is this. They need to hurry up. They need to work it out because at the end of the day, what I don't want going into next season with excuses. I'm fed up with excuses. And the thing is, I'm not gonna blame the manager. I'm never gonna blame the manager because I want you to remember this window. Right? I want you to remember this window, and I want to say, look, this is what I'm saying right now. If they do not back him, right, do not go blaming Ruben Amorim next season. Don't go blaming Ruben Amorim next season because he's left with the same players that have underperformed and stunk at the place for many years that are not his players. Again, and that's what we want. So Man United, ultimately, we need a lot more doing, of course. Oxen, good morning. The window, when will the window go? 1st of July, 1st of September, Oxen, 1st of September. They got a while. Lee, Bosman Warner was the reason for player power. Lee, it was. It was a reason for players to run down their contracts and get money. At the end of the day, that was the reason for it, And unfortunately, that's the reason when their contract expires, they can get them on a free transfer, and the players get a big mammoth payoff. Yeah. Natty, we have not got the experienced sporting director. That is the problem. There you go. We got so many people at the football club. You would have thought that they would know what they're doing. Barada, for example. They just took away the joy of the transfer window from us. It used to be fun and exciting. Nowadays, it's just annoying, even if they're in Mbeumo or someone else. I mean, at the end of the day, what I would say, Tyberg, about Man United, they should be offering us insurance. They should be offering us insurance because at the way they deal with our blood pressure, the way they deal with our anger, it's so flipping blasé. You know what I mean? They don't care about the fan base, do they? They really don't. They don't care about what way we're feeling. They feel they're a bit like, okay, who cares about them? Forget them. We'll drag it on as long as we can. They don't, and they don't reassure anyone. This is what I'm saying. Look, they don't have to do that. They don't have to reassure the fans. I know that. They don't have to do that. But wouldn't it be nice if a representative of Man United came out and said, look, we're getting the deals done and Mbeumo this and this and that. We're getting deals. This is what we aim to do in the summer. This is what we want to do. This is how we want to plan. We want this. We want that. We want this. I want to hear something like that. Whether they get it or not, it's a different story. But at least I want to know what their plans are. I want to know what's going on. All right, you got Cunha through the door. Fantastic. But what's going on now? What's going forward? After Mbeumo, where are we going to go? Are we doing this? That's what I want to know at the end of the day. Hidden element. Big up Tybo, by the way. New rules should be introduced for market foul prices hiking players from other release clauses. Big up Hidden element. Irfan United fiscal year ends on July, June the 30th. They always delay deals and only reflects in the new financial year. It's part of the delay. We already mentioned that, Irfan. Big up, Bill. How you doing, my friend? Tybo, good comment. Big up, Tybo. Always on point. We can catch them if we are sleeping like that. We cannot catch them. Look, the thing is, right? We are entering this race behind, right? We are way behind. So what happens when you're way behind? So basically, we got runners in front of us, right? Many runners in front of us, and those runners right at the front are taking like these drinks, right? They're drinking water. We got no water, but we're right at the back. But at the front, they're drinking water and they're running faster and faster because they're hydrated. We, however, have got no water because we can't afford water. So what we're doing, we're right at the back and we're running. Oh, I need a drink. It's 40 degrees. I need a drink. That's what we're doing. We can't catch up with them at the front. They've already had some water. How are we going to do that? This is what Man United are like, basically. So how are we going to catch up? It's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Because we could bring in the players, but then Liverpool and Arsenal will bring in their players and they will go further ahead. So what Man United need to do is blow it out the bloody water. Completely rebuild this club, smash it and say, this is ours. That's what Man United needed. That's what Man United need. They don't need this dilly and dallying around and stuff like that and allowing a march on our rivals. Absolutely not. We don't need that, to be honest with you guys. Right? It's the way we're run now, unfortunately, guys. Chidinga, I think Brentford are playing hard game because they are a better player than Cunha, so they want United pay much higher fee than we pay for Cunha. Fingers crossed, bro. Fingers crossed, Chidinga. That is ultimately what it's all about. Cornish, even if we pay installments, the total figure still goes on in the books and selling clubs, so it should really matter. It does go onto the books, but if they go into a deal with another player and they want to buy a player, if that team says I want that much money for the player, they're going to have to pay that much money for the player. What's on the books doesn't matter. It's going to affect their FFP. FFP and PSR is a thing now, unfortunately. So when you pay in installments, it helps with the FFP and PSR. If you pay, like, for example, 20 million a year, it only goes on to the 20 million that you spent, right? If you spend 50 million, right, on a player and you give 50 million to a club, right, that goes off your books, right? And then that goes on to FFP and PSR, right? Then you have to prove how much money you've got. At the end of the day, every year is different. Every year is different. So the fiscal year is complete. Like every year is different. So if that's why Chelsea are dragging on signings to 20 years, basically, you know what I mean? I'm paying 10, 20 million a year because when you pay in installments, it helps with the FFP and PSR. But if you get a bunch of money and you spend 50 million, Brentford replace Mbeumo with another player, for example. They get spend 50 million, that goes off their book straight away. You know what I mean? So that means that they're going to be in problems with the FFP and PSR because then it would just look like they brought in 20 million for Man United because we're paying them 20 million a year, but they spent 50 million. You know what I mean? So it comes off the fair. So that's why they want money up front, of course. This is why they want money up front. Hi, Sal. What do you think about Major Link? There was a lot of links yesterday about Nemacha. I like Nemacha as a player. I think he's a very good player, of course. I've been following him ever since he played for England. Under 16, he plays for Germany now, of course. But I've been following him ever since he played for England. I'd say a very good player. I don't think Man United are going to get that deal done. We're just about getting the Mbeumo deal done. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Smash the likes and subscribe. Big up Snatty. Big up yourself. Nice around me. I'm not mad at United offering a little more than 65 million, 5 million, and Cunha, and 5 million more. The Premier League, a little more attacking as well. So I'm not mad at it. I mean, at the end of the day, look, what I'm mad about is the slow and the duration this is taking. But obviously, if we get the deal done by the 1st of July, that's great. But it's not about Man United offering 65 million because they're not. They're offering installments. Man United have agreed a fee, right? Altogether, the fee has been agreed. But the problem is how Man United are going to pay that fee. You could agree a fee, but you could say, well, I'm going to pay you 65 million in my sofa, my chair, my treadmill, my TV, and stuff like that. And Brentford don't know, we want the money. So basically what Man United are doing, they've got 60 million valuation and they're going like, right, we're going to pay you 20 million here, 20 million here, 10 million here, 5 million here, sort of thing. So Brentford would say, no, we want 40 million now, and then you can pay us 20 million next year. You know, it's like that, you know. So at the end of the day, the valuation of the deal is 65 million. But the problem is that Man United's installment plan, they don't agree with. Incentives or installment plan around that, the little finer details of the deal. So you can agree, we can agree 100 million. We agree with that, but I'll pay you over 100 years. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, when you go into a bank and you got a loan, you get a loan out for 10 grand, right? And then the bank go, okay, you're going to pay this 10 grand back. You're going to pay 10 grand. It's worth the loan is worth 10 grand plus, but you're still paying 10 grand, right? Still valued at 10 grand, but you're paying in installments, right? You're not paying the full amount. You're paying it in installments. That's what Man United are trying to do. And Brentford are not having that. Absolutely. Big up to Chichi. Man United transfers frustrating to awful. Please, there needs to stop. And note, we are now treated as a small club. We're not treated as a small club, mate. Very, very silly. Sal, it's not easy to be. We're just not taken seriously in the market because of our incompetent negotiators. Sal, it's not easy to be a United-related YouTuber these days. Things are quite negative and need to come out every day trying to show the must be respected. Hats off to you, mate. Tybug, I really appreciate you, mate. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you for coming on here and saying something like that because it does mean a lot. It isn't easy. I mean, people think I'm coming on here and I want to be negative. I want something to cheer about. You know me, I'm a positive guy, and stuff like that. And I wake up in the morning, I'm happy and stuff like that. And then I'm looking at Man United news, I'm reading, I'm making phone calls and this and that. And then people are like, because I know that this deal is going to be done and I know that they're dragging it out. And, it's just an unnecessary scenario for Man United at the moment. It just gets on my nerves, to be honest with you, at the end there. But big up Tybo. Thank you for the compliments. Really appreciate that. Bill, big up yourself. The channel is a great place to air your views and get response from Sal. So hit the likes and subscribe. But thank you so much, Bill. I really, really appreciate that. And I love speaking to fellow like-minded people because at the end of the day, I treat this like we're sitting at a table, in a bar or something like that, or a restaurant and talking about football. This is what it's about. We're having a chit-chat about football and about how Man United can improve, And the annoying thing is that, the way we are, as opposed to the way Ineos are and the Glazers are completely night and day. We're completely different. What we want is success on the pitch. We don't care about your bloody regeneration project. They reposted the stadium yesterday. I don't care about that. I want what's going to happen next season for Man United on the pitch. How are we going to improve next season? Who are we going to bring in? That's what I want to know. Absolutely. Big up with Chichi. Big up. Absolutely. Glazers messed up big time. Nobody respect us negotiating. It will take a time to change it. Absolutely. They shouldn't have took the football club though, should they? Because at the end of the day, they should have let Qatar buy the football club, didn't they? Big up Raja, how you doing? If they couldn't do it. Globalist Knights of the Realm taking the pressure of the globalist Glazers, all part of the parcel bread and circus. In other news, the world is going down the shitter. Big up Davies. Absolutely. There's also a rumor that the club, if they're debt by 500, they must sell the club. I'm not sure how true that is. I don't think they're going to sell the club, mate. And I'll tell you why they're not going to sell the club, because of the regeneration project, fan. The regeneration project, if that regeneration project is rejected, which it could still be rejected, then they're in a bit of a problem. They have to hope that that regeneration project of Old Trafford and the surrounding area gets approved, because if they don't, they're going to be in trouble, because they're relying heavily on this. As we know, the Glazers sent a letter to the Manchester Council back in 2018 speaking about the regeneration project in Manchester and how they can get their mittens on it and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So that's what they're looking at. They're in line to make a lot of money, guys. Let me tell you that right now. This is not to do with the football club. This has nothing to do with the football club. The football club is a bonus to them. They're looking at that regeneration project. This is why we're only seeing pictures and photos of this bloody circus that they keep posting on bloody social media at the end of the day. Yeah, Kenny, deal's going to be down, Joe. Have not got any outgoings yet. I am so flabbergasted at this point. It's pretty straightforward, Kenny. It's pretty straightforward. The reason we haven't got any outgoings going this month is because our players are on astronomical wages. Why doesn't Sancho go to Fenerbahce? Because Fenerbahce don't want to pay 300,000 a week. They can pay the 20 million fee for him, but they don't want to pay 300,000 a week. What can they do? That I sympathize with them a little bit. I sympathize with Ineos in regards to this, because at the end of the day, they didn't give these players that contract. They didn't give them players that contract. These players are paid astronomically very well for nothing, for mediocrity. This is the problem. This is why we can't get rid of these players. Because they're paid so much. This culture at the football club will change. It will sort of dilute and it will go. And then eventually players will be paid a normal amount of money. Right now, the way we used to do business in the past is say, right, Sancho, Rashford, I want you to stay. I'm going to give you 300K a week. That's what we used to do. We went completely on the other side, which is the wrong way to do it. It should be, Rashford, Sancho, if you win the league, if you qualify for the Champions League, you'll get a pay rise. You'll get this, you get that. And then that gradually goes up. We're paying players more than... We pay Matt Rashford and Sancho more than Mohamed Salah. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this shows you where we are as a football club. Players who are proving it week in, week out, every single year. At the end of the day, madness. Rajat can get Caicedo on a 1-year loan if they pay all the wage. Big up, Rajat. He's a good player, though. Big up. He's a good player. Big up, everyone. Big up. It going like low tempo pace, very low, of course. Man United to a T. Ineos not multitasking anything. This is the problem, isn't it? This is my biggest bone. This is my biggest concern. This is exactly the point I'm making from the whole beginning of the show. I don't mind them taking their time with Mbeumo. That's okay, right? All right, as long as they get the deal over the line by July, right? Why don't we work on other deals? Why don't we work on the striker? Why don't we work on the goalkeeper or the right wing back or the midfielder whilst we're doing that? Why does it take so many people? Are they sit around the table all together in a big huddle like a bloody rugby match? And you know what, try and looking at a piece of paper like this. It takes 2 people to do that. Brentford and Man United, 1-1 at the end of the day. Maybe a representative there just as evidence. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the rest of the team, they should be out there going, right, we need a striker, we need a midfielder, we need a defender, we need a goalkeeper, we need a right wing back and stuff like that. Natty, this July one is making excuses for not making deals. We can do deals. Natty, no. Look, understand this. Man United can do here we go and their deals can be done. Yeah. But no player is going to walk into that football club until the July the 1st. That's the fact, right? Deals can be done. Here we goes can be done. But that doesn't mean that the deal is done. Diego Leon isn't done, right? The reason they do this is because, right? Because this is last year's money. This money right now is last year's money. We're eating into that. We eat into FFP. The reason Liverpool have done deals is because they didn't do any deals last year, right? They didn't do any deals last year. They done it. They're moving it all to this year. So that's why they're spending a lot, okay? They saved their money, basically. So basically on the 1st of July, that's when the cutoff period is. So then you can start moving in. Yes, here we goes can happen. Ornstein bombers can happen. They can happen. But there's no reason that players can't go leave. Of course, players can't leave. But at the end of the day, if no one's going to pay their wages, what can we do? No one's going to pay their wages. We were giving these players astronomical wages. So we have to look at both sides and be fair at the same time. All good, fan fans. Big up, everyone. Big up. Get 70, 75 minutes. Thank you so much, Rajat. Big up yourself. Yeah, let's get to 100 likes. 100 likes, isn't it? United hardly by in June. No, it's no secret. 1 or 2 players in last night. Yeah, I've said that already. Absolutely. Yes, fan. That's true. But what I would say in defense of that, against that, is that Man United are in a unique position. Man United have never come 15th in the league. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's what I would say is that there's no reason why here we goes and put Ornstein bombers. Deals can't be verbally agreed. Deals can still be verbally agreed. We need to see some positivity going on because at the moment the noise is coming out of Man United is always negative. You know, Mourinho's moving away from Sancho. You know, and Mbeumo, rejected, even though it was just talks and going. You know what I mean? Rejected. It's all negative spin, isn't it? And what we need is like, okay, Sancho agrees to go to Fenerbahce and he's going on the 1st of July. And Mbeumo agrees to go to Man United. He will be at Man United on the 1st of July. Rashford agrees to go to Barcelona and he'll be at Barcelona on the 1st of July. That's what I want to see. No, the deals are not officially done, but the noises coming out of Man United are positive. You know what I mean? That's what we want to hear. Get some Portuguese journalists on this channel twice out, bro, if you can. If you can do that again. Get some same Portuguese. Oh, what? Yeah. Sebastião, yeah. I'll try and get him on again. Definitely, Raja. Absolutely spot on. Thank you, man, for tuning in. Bro, it's not good for 2 or 3 different people owning the club. Too many chefs in the kitchen, Chanchika. Too many chefs in the kitchen, isn't it? I'm kidding about Cancelo alone. Yeah. He's a good player, though. I wouldn't mind him. Buzz. Sick and tired of United transfer dealing. Ball and owners need to be sacked from top to bottom. Buzz, big up my man. Hope you're doing well. Don't disagree with that. Of course I don't. Rajat, why need to wait until July 1st? It's really only about PSR reason, to be honest, now, mate. Yes, Rajat, financial year. Not PSR. And this has always happened. The financial year starts in July. Okay, so this has always been the case. Now it's even more emphasized because of PSR and stuff like that. It gets more emphasized. But what I would say is that there is no reason at all not to get deals agreed verbally. Right? You can get deals done without signing the paper. So it's official on the books. You could say, like, for example, Fabrizio, here we go. We could do that if you want. You know what I mean? And he could do that and he say the deal is done. He's walking in on the July the 1st. Just like Diego Leon is walking in on July the 1st. So this is the thing, isn't it? You know, we can get deals done. We can work quicker. We can get them verbally agreed. We can have that happen, of course. But if the deals, you know, if we're not getting any news, if we're not getting any sign of deals being done, we're going to be obviously a little bit disgruntled and a little bit annoyed. And what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem with it. Buzz, all of this that United are doing is tactics. Buzz, I agree. Big up, Buzz, by the way. Thank you for joining the stream. I heard that Kone could go out on loan. I would like to see him go on time at United, FA Cup and League Cup, and maybe come on the set. I mean, I would like that as well, Bill. Apparently, he's going on loan to Lausanne, which is owned by Ineos. So basically what Ineos are doing, they're doing a little collaboration between Man United and Lausanne in Switzerland. So basically, we're going to send Kone to Lausanne. I mean, it's not a high level. I would have liked to see Kone go a little bit higher, in my personal opinion. I would have preferred him to stay at Man United and get some game time. I think he's done very well in those two friendlies, especially against Hong Kong and the Asian All-Stars. So I would have liked to see that, to be honest. Guys, I want to show you something, guys. Next season, some of the rules will be changing in the Premier League. And I wanted to know your opinion about it. So basically, some of the rules will be changing in the Premier League. So let's bring this in. So next season, guys, we will be here. Look, so substituted players will be interviewed during Premier League games next season. Now, guys, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing, guys? Because when the player walks off the pitch and he's a little bit disgruntled, annoyed, there might be swearing going on and all sorts and fights and stuff like that. But anyway, that is what it is. Camera access into dressing rooms are also set to feature, although access will be restricted during team talks. Now, in the UAE, where I am, the national TV station and stuff like that, they do have this already. They do have like cameras in the dressing rooms, especially at halftime, but there's no audio, right? There's no audio. It's just you see the manager like this. I think that's a good thing. I think that's happened in various other countries as well. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. This is a good thing in one way, but it is a good insight to what goes on. But obviously there won't be audio. That's the only thing with it. Obviously, you can't have audio, obviously, because then you're going to be like, knowing what the tactics are going to be and and stuff like that. Camera operators will be allowed to briefly enter the field to play to film close-up of goal celebrations. All right. So the cameraman could go on the pitch then. All right. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting, to be honest with you. I'm looking forward to seeing how this pans out. I think it's good. I think it adds a little bit more feeling into everything. Not so secret, in the game and stuff, like in the dressing room and stuff. I think this is a good thing, so to speak. I really do. I like this kind of idea. But obviously it's not everyone's cup of tea. Really not. But I do kind of like the idea of it. I do. Some of it. I think it is a good thing, to be honest with you, with different things. Absolutely. UK Darren, Liverpool just got ripped off. The work still, no way he's worth that. You know what? One thing I would say, Darren, is that he's going to be under immense pressure next season. And that, you know what? And I hope that he gets the same energy as our player who went for a fraction of the price gets. You know what I mean? I hope he gets that same energy, that same anger that the media have been putting on our young players and our players that we signed through the door and stuff like that, of course. Absolutely. Stephen Maguire, spot on. You're rejected. Every club tries to get every nickel off Man United. It's up to us. I thought we got professional guys there now, apparently the best in class. So hopefully, you know what I mean. Big up, Kevin. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Brian and Bremo, we have to get the deal done. It will be eventually by hook or by crook. I love you, know, always awful. Peace, brother. Big up, Miles. Thank you so much for your lovely comments as usual, my friend. Absolutely. Big up, Mark. What's going on? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Fred, speak with Sancho and Celta. Unfortunately, that's not going to reduce his wages, is it? That's the thing. Absolutely. Wordy, can't buy anyone to 1st of July. They can't negotiate for anyone until they sell first. Big up, Wordy. Thank you so much for that. Cash, what's going on? When this deal gets done, let's all celebrate all kind of Kinder Bremo. Lovely. Cash, I love a Kinder Bueno. I do. You know me, don't you? At the end of the day. Mac, what's going on, my friend? I think it's pathetic. They only interested in entertainment. The games are entertaining enough. Fair play, mate. What I don't like, Mac, is that I don't want them to change the game too much. Absolutely not. I really don't. Absolutely. Guys, thank you, everyone, for joining me today. You absolute legends. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video if you guys can do that. And also don't forget to put your notifications on in case I go live, in case anything breaks. Of course, guys. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate everyone who supports the channel, continues to support the channel. And thank you very much. Nothing but love. We may not always agree. Life's not about agreements. It's boring that way, isn't it? But guys, thank you very much for joining the show this morning, every morning. And I really appreciate you. Just to let you know, I'll tell you every single day that. Guys, have a great day, night, evening. And don't forget your notifications. I will see you later, guys. Take it easy. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Peace.